guys, how's it going? So I'm Candi and this is our family nest, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than a typical vlog or maybe challenge or haul video that you would find here on our family channel. I had actually debated putting this on my Candyland channel, but unfortunately I haven't been really committed to posting videos there regularly, and I figured I'm just gonna post it here. Here's where all you guys have been asking us so many questions, and I figured if I decide that we need to do a part 2 of this video, then I'm gonna send you guys on over to Candyland where we will continue the conversation. So the topic of today's video, which you guys already know because that's why you clicked play, is periods, women's menstrual cycle. Girls, teenagers, women, we all go through this. And I know so many of you guys have been asking so many questions in our videos. Actually, for probably like a year now, we've always gotten constant questions whether Karli has had her period. And at first we just ignored them altogether. And then we finally started telling everybody no. And then recently, if you guys watched our video titled I Am a Woman Now, I believe it's called. I think it posted about a week ago. Karli vaguely announced that she had her first period. Well, ever since then, there's been even more questions and more comments, and I did do a brief update in a video, and I'll link both of those videos that I'm mentioning down below. I did a brief little update to let you guys know that Karli wasn't in the position where she wanted to really talk about her first period any further. So when I was going through the comments on that video, I really read a lot of comments that really have been in my mind. A lot of comments I read, I never think twice about them, and a lot of them just linger. And this time it was to the point that I actually had talked to Ken about it, because I told him I really felt bad for a lot of you girls who watch our videos who were asking a lot of questions that unfortunately, some of you guys were implying that you couldn't really have a conversation with your mother about it. You didn't really have any friends to talk to about it. And in a way, I sort of felt a little bit of responsibility, because I know so many of you guys have been watching our videos for a long time and you look up to me almost like a second mom, or you know, you admire Karli and you come here sometimes for answers for certain things. So I figured what better time, because I'm actually having to prepare Karli in the same exact way that I would like to share and prepare you guys. So many of you guys are going to be going back to school soon. If you haven't had your first period yet, it is something that you need to be prepared for. So that's kind of like the number one thing that I wanted to discuss with you, is there's really not necessarily going to be any symptoms that are going to prepare you for, oh, I think I'm going to start my period. Some of you may just have a tummy ache. Some of you just might feel achy and tired. You might have a headache. You might have where your boobs feel a little bit sensitive for whatever reason. Like, you just never know. And then you may not have any symptoms at all. You may just wake up and have some blood in your underwear. You may go to the bathroom and there's a little bit of blood, or you may bleed heavily all of a sudden one day. So it's just really hard to say what's going to happen with you. So my main focus of this video really is, what can you do to be prepared if it happens when you're not at home? So I feel like these tips are going to be useful for school, so you guys can have this at school so you're prepared, or to take with you when you're having a sleepover, or you're going on vacation, you're out of town, whether you're with a friend or family, whatever the case may be, it's always good to be prepared. So I would say for any girl who's 12 years old and up who hasn't had their first period yet, just be prepared, and then it won't be quite as scary. So before I get into the little period kit that I'm going to put together to show you guys what you can do, I also wanted to touch on one other subject that I read a lot in the comments that I think is important to share with you guys. There were quite a few people that left comments that were like, well, what if I can't talk to my mom about this problem? What if I start my period and I need her to go to the store? Because chances are the supplies that you're going to need for your period are not going to be the same supplies that your mom is using for her period. She's probably using thicker pads than you would use. She's probably using larger tampons than you would use. So if you have to, you can always use toilet paper in the meantime, which I'll show you that in a second. You can always use toilet paper until you can get your mom or your grandma or, you know, sister or another female friend, whoever, to go to the store and help you pick out some products. On to products. Before Karli started her first period not too long ago, we had gone to the store and we picked out 2 products. And we picked out these Always pads. These are actually just liners. So they're very, very thin. So a lot of women like myself actually can use these liners, like if you're just spotting or you're just ending your period, but you don't want to like ruin a pair of your underwear. So as your period's ending, you put these right inside of your underwear. They're kind of sticky. So you have your underwear and you're gonna kind of just stick it right down in your underwear like this. And that way, if you have any blood that comes out, you don't ruin your underwear. And then when you go to the bathroom, you're just gonna fold it up, wrap it up in a piece of toilet paper and put it in the garbage can. If you have pets, my advice would be take it to the kitchen garbage where you can put it down deep into the garbage, because dogs love to pick these out of the garbage and chew them up, which is awfully disgusting, but it is the truth. And then there are other kind of pads that you can purchase from the store of different thickness. Some have wings, so you can stick them down to the bottom of your underwear so they don't move around when you're walking or sitting or sleeping. And you can choose your thickness on how bad of a flow you're having. If it's just a little bit, you can get away with the thin pad. If it's heavier, then you're gonna need a thicker pad, especially like if you're in school or sports and you're on your like first day or 2 of your period and you have a heavy flow, you wanna make sure you have the extra protection. So using a thicker pad is probably the safest bet. But I just feel so bad for you younger girls, because you're all so tiny and little and you have to put this big pad. It's not comfortable. There's no way around it. It's not fun. It's sort of miserable, but it's a fact of life and we all have to deal with it. So these are Payme Liners. These are good to have, like I said, for your beginning stages of your period, because most people, your flow is very light. So you don't necessarily have to have a real thick pad. And then number 2 is tampons. Well, these have not even been opened yet. Karli has not used them. These are regular size. They're pretty small, so if you have to grab one and put it in your pocket to walk to the bathroom at school or at a restaurant or a friend's house or whatever, if you're embarrassed, it's kind of nice that they're small. And I won't get into the specifics on how to use tampon. I'm sure there are other videos out there. I really encourage you to talk to your mother about how to use a tampon, or a friend who has experience with them, because I know that's what I did when I was younger. I had a friend who kind of verbally taught me how to use one, and it really isn't that hard, but it is kind of a weird thing to have to deal with. So a lot of you guys had asked in the video too, how is Karli able to swim if she was on her period? Well, there's 2 answers to that question. One, she was not on her period any longer. As I said, it only had lasted a couple days, so she was able to swim, no big deal. And secondly, the other answer would be, this is where tampons become your friend, because you can swim when you're on your period if you use a tampon. So the main point of what I really wanted to get to, again, like I mentioned to you guys, is preparing for your first period when you're in school. And I have this actually Vera Bradley little pouch that I think it was last 2 school years ago or last school year, I don't remember, when we bought some Vera Bradley backpacks, they were giving away these pouches for free, and this is just the perfect size or solution of what you could put in your school locker or even carry it in your backpack if you really want to be prepared, and put some products in here. And here would be my suggestion. I mean, you have plenty of room in this bag, so you're gonna put some pads in here, and you'll be a lifesaver if one of your friends ends up needing these when they're at school and they're not prepared. But you're gonna put some pads in there, you're gonna put some tampons in there, and I really, really, really highly suggest putting a backup pair of underwear in there. Black is the perfect color, just in case if you have any accidents. Black underwear are the perfect underwear to wear when you're on your period, so you don't ruin your underwear. As you get older, You might actually have a what you call period underwear pile, that underwear that you don't really care if they get ruined. You kind of stick with wearing those when you're on your period. But anyways, you'll have this little bag, you fill it up, keep it in your locker. That way, if you need to be excused from class, you go to your locker, take out what you need, or if you wanted to just take this right to the bathroom with you, no one's gonna think twice. They're gonna just think you're taking your little purse to the bathroom, no big deal. And another thing that might be great to put in here would be some sort of like pain reliever, whatever works for you for cramps. I'm not gonna suggest any of those because everybody's body's different, and some of you could like be allergic to certain medications, and I'm talking like over-the-counter medications. So you really need to talk to an adult on that. But if your school allows it, because I know every school has different rules when it comes to, you know, having pills and things like that at school. If they allow it, you know, you could put 1 or 2 little pills in like a Ziploc baggie and put that in this little purse as well. So I actually think this little pouch would be a great solution for any of you girls, even if it's not your first period, if you've been having it for a while, for you to put together a little kit like this, keep it in your locker, and you'll just be prepared. Because yes, most of us have periods every 28 days, but sometimes they come early and you might forget to throw something in your purse or your book bag. So if you just keep this in your locker, you'll always know that the supplies are there for yourself or a friend, like I said. So one other thing I wanted to add, if you don't have a kit like this and you do have your period when you're at school, this is what you can do. If you absolutely have to, and we've all been there and probably done this before, because you start your period and you check your purse and you don't have anything in there, you can use toilet paper until you get home. So what you want to do is you want to roll out a whole bunch of toilet paper, and you're basically going to make yourself a little pad to put inside your underwear or your pants. If you ruined your underwear too much and you need to take them off, you can do that if you have to, and just put this inside your pants. But if you can keep your underwear on, if they're not that bad, keep them on, because it'll help keep this in place. But you're just gonna roll this up, and you're just gonna put this right in your underwear. Look, I basically just made a little maxi pad. So that's my tip if you are unprepared when you have your period. So hopefully you guys found this a little bit helpful. Hopefully this answered some of the questions that you guys have been asking in our videos over and over and over again, and I just didn't want to ignore you guys any further. I just really felt bad for a lot of you guys who were looking for answers, and I really get and understand why you want Karli to talk more about this situation of her first period, because so many of you guys are anxious, you know, when are you going to start yours, and did you start yours too early, or are you 14 and you haven't had one yet? And the honest answer is everybody has a period at a different age. Everyone's flow is different. The length of the period's different for everyone. Just the joy of being a woman. So anyways, if you guys have any further questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them or decide if we need to have a part 2 to this video. Just don't ever be afraid to go to your mom or your grandma or just any other female in your life, because we've all gone through the same thing, and they're going to help you. They're here to help you. It's not anything that you need to feel that anyone's going to make fun of you for, or anything that you need to feel uncomfortable about. It's just a fact of life, and it's something that we all deal with. So thanks guys for watching. Thumbs it up. Subscribe to Candyland. I'll decide if we do a part 2 to this video. Maybe I'll make that video over there, which you should go subscribe to right now. I'm gonna try to make more videos over there someday. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for a normal vlog tomorrow, and we'll see you next time. Bye.